Hello, this is Michael, also known as Fat Mermaid. In this video, I will be doing a speed drawing of my dog Seeker. I'm also going to be sharing the backstory of my current Dungeons & Dragons character, Boris Aurora. I thought it would be fun to share that. Dragon at the door. Boris appeared in the dark of night, cradled in a woven basket and wrapped silken blankets, to the doorsteps of a secluded monastery, clutching a note which read, "Please care for him well. Signed, B." Surrounding his body were several gemstones, and around the neck hung a jeweled necklace possessing a blue lapis stone, a stone which sparkled and swirled like stirring water in the moonlight. The monks, who very rarely received visitors, were wary of the offering. They suspected that whomever left this baby must have been of significant wealth, or the jewels were stolen. They named the child Boris Aurora, a name given to him after the gemstone which shone brilliantly around his neck and seemed to change with the boy as he grew. Boris was charged to the cleaning and dusting of the winding halls, assigned with a rigorous prayer regimen to which he took to with difficulty and resistance. A stern-faced, solemn man by the name of Anoa, a head monk, took a liking to Boris. Anoa noticed in Boris what others did not. He recognized Boris's longing and despair from the life among holy men. Anoa watched on as the boy snuck into the gardens with a flute and a small skin drum, an act often reprimanded. But where they scolded, Anoa, a lover and believer of music himself, had an idea. On a night where others were fast asleep, Anoa softly woke Boris. "Follow me, my child," whispered Anoa as they walked through the corridor in silence. Boris sensed an air of urgency. "Come quickly," Anoa said, motioning Boris toward a small door which had never been noticed by the boy. Anoa entered the room and pulled out a strange and heavy-looking contraption. "An all-sorts instrument," he explained. Boris gazed in wonder. A large drum surrounded by bells and whistles and various odds and ends. What he noticed were items gone missing from the prayer room. "I don't understand," Boris said in disbelief. "This is not the life for you," Anoa replied. "I will not sit in silence as I watch you wallow in a life of misery. You did not choose this path, it was chosen for you. This is not the true way of the monk. One must choose spiritual life to be content with it. I think you should leave this place, my son, and find a way of your own. You were meant to create music." Boris, with tears in his eyes, whispered, "I could have my tongue removed for disobeying the abbot." "You must leave this place," said Anoa. "I have lived out my days and am content in prayer and meditation. The abbot scares me not, and I have no plans of dealing with his unholy soul much longer. Do not worry, boy. Go. I will tell the others I found this note in your quarters." Anoa held up a note and waved it. A runaway note, Boris knew, prompting him to give the old monk a warm, embracing hug. Anoa kissed his forehead and patted the instrument. "Her name is Sophia. Treat her well." Boris pulled a small wheeled cart, tears welling in his eyes, and strapped Sophia to it. "Go," Anoa said, quickly and quietly. The journey eastward. Several months passed as Boris trekked through small villages. A map he found lodged under the cart among other basic survival items helped as his guide. A month passed of questioning villagers in search of the best musician. His answer went by the name of Squire. The kingdom, Boris learned, was under rule by the neutral King Crimson, who once appointed Squire as court musician. Squire, who had dedicated life to the mastery of music, begrudgingly accepted. The king offered not only to settle Squire's debt, but to pay him with riches he could only dream of. Few could tell Boris the true reason, all only rumor. But Squire returned home one day just 3 years later, having never said why. He has been a recluse since. Some say they still hear his mandolin being played out of his window late at night. Some say they could hear him weeping. Boris arrived at the town of Anderson's Glen. Before him sat Squire's rundown cottage on the edge of the east side. Boris knocked diligently until a voice meekly shouted, "Go away!" Boris would not give up. He sat patiently outside Squire's house for 1 week, a time living off food offered by residents, knowing the reasons of his stay. The dance of communication was longing. "I'm here for an apprenticeship," Boris would say. Squire would shout, "I said go away!" After a passing of a week on the verge of giving up, Boris stood, sighed heavily, faced his small growing audience. Rumor had traveled quickly of his quest, and Boris became well-liked among the townsfolk. Boris hauled Sophia up on his back, grabbed the levers, and placed his mouth on the horn. He began to play a sorrowful tune. The people gathered and soon grew into a large crowd. They wept at the sound of Boris's music. It was in this moment that one young boy boy noticed the strange blue stone around his neck becoming brighter and casting the music as if it were moonlight. Boris finished, and soon after, Squire's door slowly opened. Out popped the head of a very goofy and strange-looking elven man. He appeared to be elderly, though it is always difficult to tell with elves. "Come here," he said flatly. "Let's look at you." The mandolin gently weeps. Squire settled his internal conflict after having noticed the necklace on Boris's neck. He opened his door. "Come in," he said, exasperated. Squire explained everything. It was in the castle where Squire had fallen madly in love with one of the elven princess's maidens. Her name was Lucinda, Squire had choked. Squire would frequently practice in the castle garden. One night he saw Lucinda. She walked across the courtyard in her nightgown, appearing to be in a trance. He followed for concern of her safety. They came to a lake. Squire chased after her as Lucinda began walking in and heard a voice from inside his head. "Are you the one they call Squire?" Squire did not reply. Out in front of him emerged a humanoid figure, skin blue with water and wearing a large, extravagant, jeweled cape filled with lapis crystals from the depths of the lake. "I am the water elemental, Lakeman. I have heard of you through whispers in the trees. They've told me this woman here is the one you love?" For fear of angering the elemental, Squire answered, "Yes." "Give me music, or she will drown." Squire played his best, but the elemental was not pleased with his performance. Lakeman said, "Bring me the music of one who is of the water, and I will return your love to you," as he beckoned the castle. "That stone on your neck, boy, the color of your scales, the beauty of your playing, I think you may be able to help me. If you can, consider yourself my apprentice," said Squire to Boris. The two took horses from the stables and set off for the lake. Nobody knows what happened that night. All that could be said was how Squire and Boris rode back into town with a beautiful older elf woman on the back of Squire's horse. From that day forward, beautiful music could be heard coming from the cottage of Squire. The sounds of a mandolin, Sophia, and a woman's voice filled both the town and the spirits of those that inhabited it. From that moment on, through the trees, they say, Boris came to be known far and wide as the Soother of the Lake. Thank you for watching and listening, and if you would like to support me, you can go to my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/fatmermaid. Thanks guys, and I hope you have a good day.